I'm pretty confident in saying that the majority of us have at some point heard the expression, "we didn't know how good we had it," and nothing encapsulates this saying more than video games. More and more as the years go on by, I keep finding myself in a to and fro about when gaming is or was at its best. Was it during the time of arcade classics with sort of well-known games like Pac-Man and Space Invaders, or the 90s platformer rush with Sonic the Hedgehog, Super Mario 64, Crash Bandicoot, and a childhood favourite of mine, Spyro the Dragon? Or was it perhaps when online multiplayers entered the commoner's home and everyone was shouting lovely things at each other over COD lobbies? Suffice to say that a question like this is subject to an individual's thoughts and beliefs, but the correct answer is Doom, because Doom is eternal. The game we're going to be talking about is perhaps on the precipice of obscurity. All my life, I think I've only ever met one person who knew about this game. Metal Arm's Glitch in the System is a third-person shooter action-adventure title developed by Swingin' Ape Studios and was released all the way back in 2003 on the GameCube, PlayStation 2 and Xbox. In 2008 it was then released on the Xbox 360 through Xbox Originals. The version I played when I was a wee lad was the PlayStation 2, and this is the one we are playing today. To show some love for physical games, because Sony won't, please see with your eyeballs on the screen my copy of the game. It isn't my original copy that I had as a kid, and there's a reason for that further in the video, but it is an authentic copy nonetheless. Starting a new adventure, we have this opening cinematic of two droids and a robo-dog, scouring through some ruins and coming across an incapacitated droid, to which they decide to bring back to a place known as Droid Town. Upon waking our mysterious droid, we get no backstory, just that he is a custom model and that his name is Glitch. He will be our main protagonist and playable character for the game. We are then taken to be shown some propaganda. Ironstar, the world in which this game takes place in, is inhabited by the droid race. They, through innovation, built prosperous megacities and lived well-off lives. Dr. Excavol, a big wig for the droids, sought to evolve droid technology, however faced disaster when an experiment went wrong, blowing up the lab and creating the warmonger General Corrosive, who quickly got to work raising the Millbot army and laying waste to droid civilization. The droids that found us in the ruins, along with the Colonel and Krunk, are members of the Droid Rebellion. And guess who is their newest recruit? No time for resting though, war calls and we're the only one by the bloody phone. The Millbots, or Mills, have breached a sector in the Droid Town mines. Our job is to drive them out and save any droids down there. I never completed this game because the game that I had, like the physical disc, was like scratched in a certain section, so when it got to... oh my god, I fell off. So when it got to a certain point in the game, it would just crash and would not go any further. And it was so weird.
Keep it moving, Glitch!
I'm moving. I'm moving and grooving.
There's so many of them down there, Glitch. Let's take the zip line and zoom right over them.
So, ziplining to the end and completing the tutorial level, it's time for the real game to begin. Starting off the level Do or Die, our friends get obliterated. But the bad news doesn't end there. We get a new weapon, the Ripper, which, with the cool name aside, is about as useful as a chocolate teapot. For the American viewers who only perceive tea to be something offensively sweet in a metal can, let me try a different idiom for y'all. See, it's about as useful as a screen door on a submarine or as useless as tits on a ball hog. What I'm saying is that using the Ripper is about as enjoyable as getting fingered by Catwoman. It's an awful weapon, and one we won't be seeing. Getting into a maintenance tunnel, we get a battery, which increases our health, and we get another weapon, the Spew, which is the machine gun of the game. Defeating the Mills, one of them drops a chip, which is to be used on this command console. These consoles allow us to then take control of a Millbot. This is one of those unique mechanics in the game. Later in the game we will get the tether gun and we'll see more Millbot control. Using the Mill as a conduit, we blow up a generator, which unlocks a previously locked door. Pushing on through waves of enemies, we get to the end of the level, but then the floor collapses. Starting off the next level in the lower parts of the mine, our objective is to seal the mines and stop the Mills. Hidden in a corner is the rivet gun, a semi-auto precision bolt thrower, very useful. A little further we get introduced to the barter droids, Shady and Mr. Pockets. Here we use washers, the in-game currency, to buy weapons, weapon upgrades, ammo, etc. We purchase the rocket launcher because it is a very important weapon and one that we are very much going to need. We end out the level by setting off the det packs and collapsing the mine. It's time to get back to Droid Town. The next level, Cleanup, has us fighting through Droid Town, clearing out of the remaining mills and putting a stop to their leader, Vlax. Now we reached some form of success with that, but I think Colonel Alloy describes it best.
Nice work, kid. You did good.
What did you expect? It was just warming up.
Well, let's not break out the joy lube just yet. You've still got a lot of work to do. That mill bastard Vlax escaped. If he gets the location of Droid Town to corrosive, we'll be up to our gaskets in trouble.
So yeah, Vlax got away, and he knows the location of Droid Town, which is bad news for our heroes. Ready for a timed car chase sequence? Oh, the steering. Oh, the steering is very sensitive. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. I don't think I can shoot. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, okay. Ooh, ooh. It's very sensitive. It's very, very sensitive. Holy shit. Okay. Like, just a tap makes it want to lose control. I lose control. Teddy Swims, anybody? I do like Teddy Swims. Good singer. Oh, don't drive in the water! Don't drive through the barrels either! Oh my god. The water hurts us or slows us down, and we've got a timer. Okay, I want to go through here. I don't know if this does us any good, but it'll be cool. I don't know who's shooting. I don't know who's in the flying thing. Ah! Oh my god, we hit it in the air. We're so cool. Mum, can we have Mad Max? No, we've got Mad Max at home. Holy sweet baby Jesus. Oh my god, the steering is so sensitive. People just don't understand. And the screen shaking is so crazy. Do not fall over. Okay, we're doing well so far. I don't know, possibly. I'm kind of curious to see how far we can get. I mean, I'm kind of excited to see what's past the scrapyard section. Because again, I never got past it as a kid. Just because the game would literally just crash. See ya! Oh my god, we just came out. Whoa! That was cool. I hope we're still recording. Kind of scared to look. Okay. Oh my god. Do not go in the hole. Do not go in the death hole. Hello. Get out of my way. I like that the plane is waiting for us. I presume the plane is the millbots, not the droids. If anyone was unclear, by the way, droids are the good guys, millbots are the bad guys. Did you not listen to the propaganda video at the start of the game? Get out of my way! Get out of my way! Hey! Oh my god. I love the level design. Not level design, or like, you know, the way how everything looks. Oh my god, I don't know why when they're driving at me. Don't drive at me. Oh my god, the way he just jumped out. Again, it's so Mad Max. Holy. Oh, we took so much damage because of that. Oh. I don't think there's any health either. I think this is it. Like, we've got to make do with what we got. Oh, don't clip me. I'm scared that they're going to clip me. We've got 50 seconds. How? Okay, we've done it. First try. Hell yeah.
You'll never catch me, you rust-busting reject!
We gotta keep after that rusty nutted pile. Everyone out!
I can move faster on foot without you guys. Take the rat around the far side of the chasm and try and head him off the path.
Head him off at the pass? Who the hell says that? You some sort of f***ing cowboy? You better be right about this, screwboy, because if you don't stop Vlax, I will personally weld your exhaust pipe to your ball bearings.
Well, with all that over, we're now in the wastelands, and it's not just millbots we need to worry about here. A new enemy enters the fray, robot abominations called zombie bots who have a regeneration ability where they like to reassemble themselves after being defeated. But if you put them down a second time, they stay down. An interesting detail in this level also, the zombie bots and the mills will fight each other, which is pretty neat. We get the scatter blaster, which is essentially a shotgun and an absolute favourite of mine. It makes quick work of any foe that finds themselves in our path. I feel it would be appropriate to bring up again the story of my original copy of this game being damaged and would crash, because it's both this level, They Live, and the next level, Wasteland Journey, where my game would crash. So everything past the middle of Wasteland Journey was completely new to me. So imagine my surprise that at the end of the level we meet Moser, an impotent droid
I can't even get my piston up.
who joins forces with us and whom we assume control of in the next level. Nothing much to note on really with this. I think the core focus was just to have some variety in the game. While an admirable thing to try, I will say I'm a little dismissive of it later in the game. For now though, it was fun to club some robots with a big metal bar. Moving on to the next level, the Zombie Bot King, which turns out to be a boss fight, we are on a timer. You see, our heroes got ambushed and now Moser is trapped on a conveyor belt heading towards a huge shredder machine. So our objective is to defeat the king before Moser gets the sashimi treatment. Now let me ask you all a question. How would you go about defeating the Zombie Bot King? If you answered by strapping a car battery to an electric eel's arsehole, because how else are they going to recharge, well I must say no, and please don't do that. So I failed this level once. I went full offense, chucking grenades, firing rockets, but the big boy wouldn't go down and Moser met his demise. What I discovered on my second go about is that you are to damage the king enough so that he goes into a panting state, where there you need to throw a grenade into his mouth. Rinse and repeat and he goes down. See, I forgot that back in the day developers like to have some creative expression, and implementing a puzzle into a boss fight was quite the popular thing to do back then. And while this little puzzle wasn't harsh or annoying, I can say that some later boss fights won't be getting the same level of approval. The next level, Into the Trenches, has moved us out of the wasteland and into the Milcom Center. Moser decides he doesn't fancy going on any further, so instead he leaves us and heads back to Droid Town, not before handing over his rivet gun. This is important because this levels up our rivet gun. I hadn't mentioned this earlier in the video, but each of the gun weapons has a maximum of 3 levels. To upgrade a weapon, you need that specific weapon's upgrade kit, which can be obtained by story progression, found in the levels, or some are purchased from the barter droids. The upgrade kits are essential for our lethality and survivability. Not only will they increase overall damage and ammo capacity, but with some of the weapons, it will change their behavior. Take our rivet gun for example. At level 1 the weapon just shoots bolts, however now at level 2 the bolts now have a delayed explosion. The rocket launcher is another great example. Getting it to level 2 means it becomes a shoulder launcher, which will allow us to fire it while jumping through the air. When it's at level 3, shortly after firing a rocket, the rocket will split into 4 rockets, meaning more explosions and more mayhem. What's not to love? Getting back to the story, we're still following the same objective as before. Stop the certified fart sniffer Vlax from disclosing the location of Droid Town. The level Into the Trenches we are introduced to the Titans, an absolute pain in my chocolate starfish. The following level, Infiltrate the Compound, was an absolute nothing sandwich. The following third level, Destroy Common Race. Listen, if you're confused or upset by the naming convention of some of these levels, I'm right there with you. How do you get from Do or Die, They Live, or Into the Trenches to then Infiltrate the Compound and Destroy Common Race? It's almost like you should have had your objectives pop up on screen to help the player understand and navigate what they're supposed to be doing, and not have 50,000 filler missions. Oh, we're gonna get to the filler missions because fuck me, they are abundant. So we finally catch up with Vlax, who then runs away again, not before saying he has Droid Town's location loaded up on the comms array, and in a short while the array will be aligned with a Milbot space station, where General Corrosive is currently situated, so the obvious course of action is to blow everything up. Next up is an entire level dedicated to being the turret section, because what would an early 2000s action shooter be without a turret section? Arriving in the next level, What Research, sees us wreaking havoc in a Milbot R&D center. We are here because Krunk has been taken hostage and we have to save him. Vlax is still alive, somehow. A couple of missions later we find Krunk, who isn't captured. The sly devil got himself out. During our supposed rescue mission, Krunk hacked into some Milbot computer and learned that Dr. Excavolt is apparently still alive, but also being used to help General Corrosive with his space station plans, and also used in uncovering the secrets of Iron Star and its long gone ancient inhabitants, the Morbots. In the next level, Fucking Crunked, we play as Crunk and get introduced to the control tether gun. The idea is that Crunk has no offensive weapons, so what we do instead is take control of other mills and use them as unmakers. Once everyone is dismantled, we meet back with Glitch, who is then tasked with chasing Vlax once again and getting back Crunk's special Moorbot chip. Skipping ahead to the end of this level because quite literally nothing happens, Vlax steals Crunk's car and drives off. We pursue in another car chase sequence, to which at the end of the sequence we finally get the opportunity to fight Vlax. We get the Moorbot control chip back and we kept the location of Droid Town safe. Time to head back. Once we get back, there is no respite as we have our next mission. Research into Dr. Excavolt has shown that he is being held captive in Mill City, and we need to go rescue him. We just need to get into Mill City. Fortune would have it though, Crunk's Moorbot chip is a key that unlocks the passageway to the land of the Moorbots beneath Ironstar's surface. Through this treacherous land, we should be able to find a way to sneak into Mill City. Down here in the Moorbot region, we find a droid called Slosh. He was taken prisoner by the Mills when they first took over Ironstar and has been left underground ever since. We play a level as him, to which at the end he gives us his flamethrower, or toaster as it's named in the game, a weapon that is almost as useless as the Ripper, considering that in the next level some of the Mills have shields that repel the flames. I basically have to wait. Right. I would like to just quickly interject here and say to those that have continued watching up to this point, thank you very much. It really means a lot. I hope you are well and enjoying everything so far. If I could just ask, is there perhaps an old game you would like seen played on the channel? Please let me know down in the comments. I really enjoy the nostalgia rush from older games, they really do just hit differently. Thanks again everyone. The Hand is Mightier is our first level in Mill City, and boy do we get a warm welcome. Oh my god, he's got an upgraded rocket launcher and it does split. Mission failed. Mission failed, we'll get him next time. Fuck's sake. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Oh my god, this is it didn't work. Fuck this. Oh, you fuckers. It doesn't kill him outright. No, you fucker. Oh my god. And I start back here. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. Oh. We meet with Agent Shush, our eyes on the inside. It's at this point while playing I started to get a little lost in regards to our objectives. See, the whole point I thought as to why we are here was to find Dr. Excavolt, but Agent Shush has given us information on a completely different assignment. Something about that the Mills are in the early stages of creating spy bots that look and act like droids. So we are tasked with finding this spy facility, shutting it down and stealing a Mill control chip. With another unnecessary filler level, we are in the spy factory. Now this level, oh boy this level, can quite sincerely go fuck itself and die in a contaminated oil-soaked cesspit. I hate this level, I really do. To progress in some parts, you have to take part in the spy droid examination and training, and this stupid, shitty Simon Says bit is ridiculous. Who in their right mind thought this was ever a good idea? This game is an action-adventure shooter, and this part represents not one of those three things. Believe me when I say I'd rather use a metal scourer soaked in itching powder as a fleshlight than play this section ever again. A shit fucking level. What is this bollocks? Yes, I know. This is ridiculous. This is such a terrible level. I have to do it all again. Step right. It's the same fucking... Are you serious? Oh my god, this is shit. We get the Mill control chip, and that's the end of this nightmare. So are we going to find the Doctor or not? Well, yes. But we are going to complete 3 fucking filler missions before we get to that point. Sorry, no, that's incorrect. Make that 5. From the point where we are done with the spy factory to the point where we actually see and talk to the Doctor, there are 5 levels in between. So at the end of Get to the Tower, we reach Dr. Excavol, who doesn't seem at all held under captivity. However, some mills do shoot at us, so we make a swift exit. The next level, we are back in Droid Town for an unwelcome homecoming.
Dr. Exavolt. Sir, it is a distinct pleasure to finally meet you.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Well, I can assure you I am equally pleased to be here.
At the risk of sounding impatient, Doctor, duty calls. We need your help. Since you originally created General Corrosive, we thought you'd have information that would help us defeat him.
Oh, I know all there is to know about the General.
Spectacular! I knew it! Droids, our luck is about to change!
You have no idea. Oh, my dear General Corrosive, I do hope you've been listening. Our plan has worked to utter perfection. Not only have I located the Droid Rebel Command Center, I am standing in the middle of it. You may initiate the invasion.
Oh, damn it! We've been had!
So yes, Dr. Excavol is a bad guy, and we have to survive and repel a second attack on Droid Town, which is a lot like the first time, but at night. We hold off the mills, but we get captured, and thus begins the ridiculous Colosseum segment. I've bashed this game quite a bit at this point, and, well, I'm gonna bash it some more. We learn in typical gladiatorial fashion that if we are successful enough in the Colosseum, we get a chance at fighting General Corrosive. Yes, that General Corrosive, the supposed big bad guy of the game. But we know now that there is a bigger, badder guy, the Doctor. So I'm thinking, oh okay, so we are going to fight the General and we are going to defeat him. This will most likely enrage the Doctor. Perhaps when defeating the General, we will learn what the Doctor is up to or where he will be, and then we can enact our revenge. And so I'm also thinking alongside this that General Corrosive is an irrelevant character. Dr. Excavol is our main focus, our antagonist, the big bad guy, and that this Colosseum segment is a little weird and out of place, because if this is how we're going to fight and defeat Corrosive, this is what the developers came up with as a method of transitioning the story to a point where we are fighting a boss? Something wasn't adding up. So we fight through some meaningless levels and finally get to the level Fall to Pieces. The fight with General Corrosive. We go into the arena, we have no weapons, no grenades, no tools. And then there he is. We run around the arena, hopefully dodging General Dickhead's rockets, and there is nothing. No weapons, nothing. But in one container, which you must use said Dickhead's rockets to blow open, is the wrench. Now, what the wrench does, we were introduced to it back in the fucking Spypot factory level. When activated, Glitch will disassemble and fall to pieces. The idea for this boss fight is to disassemble yourself in one of these huts and make it look like the General killed you. To which then you get thrown into a scrap heap where we reassemble. That was the plan. The great puzzling escape of 2003. What a joke. Race to the Rocket is another time sequence. The Doctor is on board and is heading to the Mill space station. We need to get on that rocket. For the next couple of levels, we just went about recreating that opening fight scene in the sci-fi white corridor in that one Star Wars film. But in this scenario, the Mills would be the rebel scum, and we would be whatever is better than a stormtrooper, because we can actually aim and hit things most of the time. Do you remember when we had fun in this game? Like when we first got the Ripper? Agent Shush contacts us at some point and talks about the Mill control ship we nabbed from the Spy Factory. The space station schematics show that there is a master command console on the station. If we were to use the two together, we can take control of the Mills and shut them down. For good. You gotta love the pacing of the objectives and the nature of how they come about. I thought the whole reason we are here on this shitty soggy bread of a station was because we are chasing down the antagonist of the story, you know, for revenge and what have you. But Agent Shush is out here making me think that I'm on a fucking shopping trip. We're at the shops, love. Could you just pop down to Boots and make an entire race of militant killbots log off from life? Ta love. We are coming close to the end of the game. One of the last levels, creatively called General Corrosive, will see us battling once again with Corrosive the Big Red Bot. The start of the level has no grace, no cinematic, no cutscene, just off the elevator and there he is. But this time, I have my guns, so suck it, Flint. Oh, they all just bounced off. Well, okay, well, nice to know. So as it turns out, Corrosive is impervious to gunfire. Cool, so nothing has changed then since the Colosseum fight. Since shooting isn't an option, we run around and there is a command tower in the center of the arena. Using a launch pad will get us towards the top. There is a control console and Zombie, the droid's Robodog. I suppose he was taken captive when Excavalt attacked Droid Town because he has the mill control chip, I think? Listen, during the time I was recording these bits, I had no idea what was going on, mostly due to my frustration with the game. But then while writing this script, I'm going through the recordings and I still don't fucking understand. Like, why would you trust a dog? Yeah, sure, robot dog, but a dog with your rebellion's single most valuable asset. One that could very much end this war. And you entrust it with a creature that shags the female equivalent to a ball bearing, a G-clamp or a clutch. Listen, guys, I'm trying to work on my human to robot anatomy jokes. You see, a G-clamp was a joke about the G-spot, and a clutch was about the clip. So the control console is obviously important, and it's missing 4 chips. Now I believe that the intelligent among us know what must be done. However, let me ask you all a question. Where do you think all these chips are? Maybe you thought they would be past the doors on the upper levels, one you have to get to before Corrosive destroys the bridge leading to them. No, not there. Perhaps on the ground floor, the very floor you can clip through. There are doors here too. Nope. So the game never gives any hints as to the whereabouts of these chips. However, maybe you are more observative or lucky and you see that these large blue boxes can be destroyed, some of which contain loot and some others have the chips. I will give credit where credit is due. This is a clever use of a dynamic environment, but a little frustrating because there is literally no way of knowing this. You see, previously in the game, they have done the exact same thing, the Colosseum fight with Corrosive and the Zombie Bot King. However, with the Colosseum fight, the boxes you could destroy had glass, and you could see that there were items inside. Same thing with the Zombie Bot King fight. You could see that there was pick-upable items past the metal bars, so logically there must be a way past them. But here it's just a large blue box. I had no way of knowing there were items inside. Now I get that the idea was to have the chips hidden and make you run around in the chaos, but at least repeat to some degree what you had previously done. Make some of the boxes clear, preferably next to the non-clear ones. So when you inevitably fire rockets at it, you blow open both and see that they can all open. One last thing, then we can stop bashing this part of the level. Oh yeah, there's more level and more critiquing. There is no background music at all during this glitch segment. Nothing. Just the soul-eroding sounds of rockets. Once we have all the chips, we take them to the control console, and if it wasn't obvious, we assume control of General Corrosive. That's right, you devilish custard cream loving people that are most certainly subscribed. The big red virgin is nothing but a slave to carry our whimsical dilly-dally. I appreciate that while we have a health bar for the general, the developers made him invulnerable even while you have control of him. This whole fight sequence is just an unchecked power fantasy bit. I'm not going to say it's bad, but it ain't good. So using the general, we access the mill master computer and initiate the shutdown sequence of the mills. Now you see, Agent Shush says that he is transmitting the command to shut down the mills. That would mean that he has the mill control chip, and we free the Robodog after the shutdown sequence is initiated. So then Robodog doesn't have the chip. So why was he dognapped? Does Excavalt just hate dogs? What an asshole. Anyway, the space station is going to self-destruct and we make our escape via escape shuttle. We touch down back on Ironstar for the last level of the game, aptly named Final Battle, where we fight, wait for it, General Corrosive. However, this time the game has granted us the ability to not only use our weapons, but to actually damage him with our weapons. For shits and giggles, I did kill him with the slingshot, serves him right for being a giant gimp. The droids are victorious, and that was Metal Arm's glitch in the system. I definitely have some thoughts and emotions towards this game. Like, what the fuck was that ending? Like I mentioned, Like I mentioned previously in the video, since the introduction of Dr. Excavolt, I completely thought that the General had moved to being a secondary threat. So I did not expect him to be the final boss. The Doctor, by the way, is still alive. He escaped the space station and is flying around in space, obviously laying the foundations for a sequel, which reportedly was planned and work had begun on it, but was then later cancelled, and sometime after that Swinging Ape Studios was acquired by Blizzard Entertainment, and that was that really. Let's talk about the game that we do have. So this game is a little bit of a Ratchet & Clank clone. That is not a critique nor a bad thing. In fact, the core DNA pieces that it shares with Ratchet & Clank, pieces like destructive chaos, the wide array of tools and weapons, even the humour shared between characters, are done relatively well. The last piece, while it works very well in Ratchet & Clank, and also works well here in this game, in my opinion, could have been dialed back a bit. Listen, the reason why the lightheartedness and banter work so well in Ratchet & Clank is because there isn't an overwhelming, threatening force or a sense of dread. There is a plethora of races, civilizations, and commerce. The game feels alive. Metal Arms, on the other hand, has two warring factions on a desolate world. One of the factions, once prosperous, are on the brink of utter ruin because of the choices of one droid who evidently could not give a singular flying fuck. Then you have the other faction, tyrannical, ruthless, a fondness for slavery, who has clearly been inspired by that world-infamous party who set about trying to conquer Europe in 1939, Reform UK. The game does, however, do the other two pieces extraordinarily well. I cannot fault anything there. The levels of chaos, carnage and destruction is most certainly dialed up to 11, for 2003 that is. The wide variety of weapons is also great, each one serving a unique purpose. Except for the Ripper, you can suck shit. The tether gun, while a little forced in places, is an important tool and does become quite necessary in later levels. I played this game on normal difficulty, and it was a little challenging, not given much chance for respite. So taking control of the enemies and using their health bar instead is worth keeping in mind. Okay, so some last things of note, then we can wrap this video up. The biggest frustration I have, and is quite a significant hindrance to the game overall, was its pacing and those pesky filler levels. The game was quite a drawn out experience. More does not always mean good. The chase in Vlak's levels could have been shorter. Why did we go through Mill City, to the Spy Factory, to the Wastelands, then back to Mill City just for an oil stain of a robot? And why did the Colosseum segment ever exist? Metal Arms glitch in the system. Is it fun? No, and that saddens me to say. Take care, everyone.
Step left. Step right. Command, walk backward. Command, walk forward. Command, rotate right. Command, rotate left. Rotate left. Command, chop. Command, flip. Command, chop. Flip. Command, flip. Command, step left. Command, step left. Command, walk forward. Command, step right. Step right. Walk backward. Command, flip. Flip. Command, flip. You droids think you got what it takes to last in the survival arena? I got 10 washers on this goofy looking one here, so the rest of you go down nice and easy.